Mel's Hole is a complex, very interesting mystery.
What is the U.S. government's relationship with these things? And there's evidence that there is a relationship.
In accounts where people disappeared, all right, where a weird lightning storm comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden people just scream and then disappear.
Hello, history buffs, time travelers, and scholars. In the quiet hills of eastern Washington, there's a mysterious pit known as Mel's Hole that seems to have no bottom. Discovered by a local man named Mel Waters, this strange hole has sparked curiosity and fear. People have thrown trash into it for years, but it never fills up, leaving everyone puzzled. Mel even tried to measure its depth with fishing gear, but after lowering nearly 10,000 feet of line, the bottom was still out of reach. The mystery of Mel's Hole. Cameras lowered into the hole have captured eerie images that scientists can't explain, and strange events like Mel's dogs avoiding the hole and strange signals picked up on his radio have made the pit even more mysterious. Stories of ghosts and government secrets surround Mel's Hole, making it a place of both wonder and fear. In 2017, a group of researchers who tried to explore the hole fled in terror after seeing something terrifying on camera, realizing the place was too dangerous. But still, Mel couldn't find the bottom of the pit. He even used 880,000 feet of line, more than 166 miles, but the hole seemed endless. While working on the pit, Mel noticed something strange. His dogs refused to go near it, backing away as if they sensed danger. The area around the hole was eerily quiet, with no birds or insects, although birds flew over it without any problems. When Mel spoke to his neighbors, he found out their dogs acted the same way. One neighbor shared a shocking story. After his dog died, he threw the body into the hole, but a few days later, he saw the same dog, wearing its collar, alive and running through the woods. When he called to it, the dog acted like it didn't know him, as if it had come back from a different place entirely. Mel's quiet life was about to get a lot of attention. It was 1997, and the mysterious pit seemed like something straight out of a science fiction story. Unsure of what to do next, Mel reached out to the popular Coast to Coast AM radio show, hosted by Art Bell. The show, known for discussing paranormal and unexplained phenomena, had millions of listeners. Mel hoped the curious and open-minded audience could help him understand the strange pit and the bizarre events surrounding it. Things took an even stranger turn after Mel's story aired. The day after Mel appeared on the show, he found out he couldn't access his land anymore. The U.S. military had discovered the pit and taken control, blocking anyone from getting close. Helicopters began flying over Mel's property and didn't stop the next day. His quiet life had suddenly turned into something far more mysterious and alarming. Mel noticed the pit affected the world around it. Animals avoided it, but plants thrived. Radios near the pit acted strangely, picking up stations from far away or even the past. Once, Mel's radio played a baseball game from 1967. After Mel spoke on Art Bell's radio show, the military blocked access to his land, claiming a plane had crashed. However, there was no crash site, and they wouldn't let him pass. A man in plain clothes hinted Mel might lose his land and threatened to accuse him of illegal activities if he caused trouble. Despite the wild rumors, Art Bell and his listeners remained intrigued. When Art called Mel again, Mel shared a bizarre story a neighbor had witnessed near the pit. A dark beam of light was once seen shooting from Mel's pit, piercing the clouds. Art Bell's radio show was full of strange theories about the pit, with people claiming UFO sightings and disappearances in the area. Some thought the pit was on a ley line, an invisible energy path, or even a gateway to another time or world. One caller suggested it could lead to the Hollow Earth, an ancient idea of a hidden world beneath our planet. As Mel's story spread, things got stranger. He revealed that the military offered him $3 million a year to use his land, but he had to leave the U.S. Mel agreed and moved to Australia, but missed his family and returned secretly. When he tried to contact Art Bell again, things took a dark turn. Mel passed out on a bus, woke up 12 days later in San Francisco, missing his wallet and teeth, with needle marks on his arm. His bank accounts were also emptied. Despite doubts, Art Bell invited Mel back on the show. While no one found the pit, there were signs of heavy military activity, and satellite images of Mel's land were blacked out. Later, a Native American tribe in Nevada contacted Mel about a similar mysterious hole on their land. Mel went to explore, trying to uncover the truth behind these strange pits. The other mysterious hole. The Bosque people in Nevada had a mysterious hole, similar to Mel's but with a metal ring around it. Mel noticed it gave off warmth and made no sound when things hit the ring. Curious, they did experiments, lowering ice into the hole. When the ice came back up, it was dry, extremely cold, and could burn for months. The group even lowered a sheep into the hole, but it came back dead and strangely cooked inside, with a tumor that moved on its own. Inside the tumor, they found a creature resembling a seal with human-like eyes, which Mel gently returned to the pit. After this experience, Mel's throat cancer mysteriously disappeared, and he felt healthier. He shared more tales on Art Bell's show, including how the burning ice had strange effects, like drying out a cabin and eventually collapsing the ground under a stove. Local legends even said a magical seal had emerged from the hole, communicating through radios and warning about the ice's dangers. Although Mel vanished, leaving behind a tale full of mysteries, some adventurers still search for his legendary hole. In 2017, a group found a farm with a deep void but felt an eerie presence and left quickly. The truth behind Mel's hole remains unsolved. Could it connect to other dimensions or realities? Are you ready to jump in? Those holes may be deep, but they're definitely not bottomless. Imagine a truly bottomless pit that goes straight through the earth, from one side to the other. To create this, we'd need to envision a strong, cylindrical tunnel that cuts through the Earth's crust, mantle, inner core, and outer core, all the way to the very center of the Earth, then back out to the other side, likely into the ocean if you're on a continent. This spot where you'd end up is known as an antipodal point. Now, despite all the challenges that come with the extreme pressure and temperature, as well as the molten outer core and the radioactive inner core, let's pretend we've created something that could stabilize this cylindrical shaft, turning it into a true bottomless pit. Perhaps we could imagine a graphene cylinder of the right thickness, cooled by a layer of liquid helium running through it. This would allow us to maintain the tunnel's structure, even under extreme conditions. So, with this solid pit in place, are you ready to dive in? As you jump into this bottomless pit, you start your adventure. Right away, you begin to accelerate downwards as air rushes past you. After about 7 seconds, you reach what's called terminal velocity, which is about 140 to 210 miles per hour, depending on how you position your arms and legs. Interestingly, this speed could increase slightly as you descend, because the deeper layers of the Earth are denser than the outer layers. But here's the catch. Since the atmosphere moves with the Earth as it rotates, about 1,000 kilometers per hour at the surface, you'd actually find yourself moving too quickly horizontally. After a short distance, you might end up crashing into the walls of your cylindrical tube because the Earth continues to rotate underneath you as you fall. However, there's a simple solution. If we build this shaft directly along the Earth's rotation axis, starting at the North Pole, going through the center, and coming out at the South Pole, then you wouldn't experience the effects of differential rotation. This means you could enjoy a true bottomless pit, free of any walls to crash into. So, go ahead, jump into the bottomless pit. As you do, the real fun begins. You accelerate downwards, and after about 20 hours of free fall, you would reach the center of the Earth, but not before hitting a speed of around 300 miles per hour as you overshoot the center by less than 100 miles due to the gravitational pull. Now imagine a different scenario. You've built your cylindrical shaft, reinforced and cooled, and removed all the air from it. When you toss an object into the bottomless pit, what happens? Unlike your earlier jump, this time the object never reaches terminal velocity. Instead, it keeps accelerating as it falls, reaching a maximum speed of over 11,000 meters per second, around 25,000 miles per hour, as it passes through the center of the Earth. The entire journey to the center would only take about 22 minutes. Without air resistance, the object wouldn't lose any energy along the way, making this a thrilling experience. As you drop through the layers, you'd feel your speed change due to the varying densities around you. After about 45 minutes, you would emerge at the South Pole, just as the South Pole is about 2,800 meters, over 9,000 feet, above sea level. You'd hardly see daylight overhead before coming to a stop and starting the journey back. And then, you'd make a round trip through all those various layers of the mantle, outer core and inner core, finally returning to where you started at the North Pole. So in just about an hour and a half, you'd have completed this incredible journey through the Earth. In 2002, a group of 30 people, led by Gerald Osborne, went on a trip to find the hole but couldn't find it. Local news reporters who looked into the story couldn't find any records of a person named Mel Waters ever living in or owning land in Kittitas County. According to Jack Powell, a geologist from the State Department of Natural Resources, the hole doesn't exist and can't be real. He explained that a hole that deep would collapse because of the pressure and heat from the ground around it. Powell believed the story likely came from an old mine shaft on private land, and said the tale of Mel's Hole had become a legend with no real proof. Another geologist, Pat Pringle, also doubted the story that someone lowered 80,000 feet of fishing line into the hole, saying the heat from the earth would have snapped it before it could go that deep. Who knew that jumping into a bottomless pit could turn into such an exciting adventure? Now you have a fun understanding of how physics works in a bottomless pit scenario. And there you have it, folks. Who would have thought a simple jump into a bottomless pit could turn into such an epic journey through the heart of our planet? From racing past layers of rock and molten metal to feeling the pull of gravity like never before, this adventure truly shows just how wild and mysterious our Earth can be. Imagine the thrill of zipping through a cylindrical tunnel, where the air rushes by and the ground drops away beneath you. It's a roller coaster ride like no other. You'd witness the fascinating changes in temperature and pressure, all while navigating the incredible depths of our planet. It's a journey that challenges everything we know about gravity, speed, and the very structure of Earth itself. If you enjoyed this wild ride, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends. Let them know about this incredible journey and spark their curiosity. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what would happen if you took the plunge. As always, stay curious, keep exploring, and never stop asking questions about the wonders of our world. Until next time, happy adventuring.